As the government shutdown hits the 1-week mark with no end in sight, President Trump today issued a new threat saying that furloughed federal workers may not be reimbursed with back pay once the government reopens.
For the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way, okay?
That reverses what's been long-standing policy and possibly goes against a 2019 law that ensures back pay for federal workers. Here with more on this is our White House correspondent, Liz Landers. Liz, it has been a very busy day for you.
Yes.
So what exactly is the administration threatening to do here, and why?
So PBS NewsHour obtained this memo. It's a draft memo that was written by the general counsel at the Office of Management and Budget. And in it, they believe the administration has the interpretation of that 2019 law that they actually don't have to pay these furloughed federal workers any kind of back pay. Now, that 2019 law was passed after the longest government shutdown in history to give protections to employees so that they would be assured to get back pay after that kind of shutdown.
And it was President Trump who signed it.
And it was President Trump who signed it. Excellent point. In this interpretation from this new OMB legal counsel, they're basically saying that that 2019 amendment gives a permanent authorization for the furloughed workers to get back pay once the federal government reopens, but it does not require it. There's also another sort of addendum in there that the administration is leaning into, saying that the Congress, that when they reopen the government, has to put this, the federal furloughed worker back pay, into whatever funding bill they're doing. So they're trying to find some loopholes here. And this was written for Russ Vought, who's the director of the Office of Management and Budget. And he has been working with the president, we know, to slim down the federal government, threatening these mass layoffs through other kind of mechanisms. So between this new memo and the mass layoff threats that we've been hearing, it seems like the administration is putting pressure on Democrats to end this shutdown.
Quick question here, though. Is this legal?
Well, according to a few people we talked to, probably not. The largest federal workers union that I spoke with, or that put out a statement earlier today, said that this is an obvious misinterpretation of the law, and also said that it is inconsistent with the Trump administration's own guidance from a few days ago, which said that furloughed employees should receive retroactive pay. I also talked to Shalonda Young, who was Biden's OMB director, and she said that the 2019 law makes it very clear that Congress has the intent to pay these federal workers who've been furloughed. She said that the federal government always pays federal employees once they've been furloughed. And she also made the point that this will surely spur Congress to add this into the funding bill that they're working towards but have not yet passed.
Shalom. Welcome to another video. And as always, before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachwadash, and next double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere Akim. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of whether people hear or whether they forbear. All right, so this is just going to be a quick update on the news. All right, where you saw in the introduction, okay, that the government shutdown has been going on for almost 2 weeks now, and now Trump is saying that certain people are not going to get back pay, okay, for the days that they missed because of the government shutdown, and what this is a symbol of, to me, okay, a symbolic, of trusting in a broken system. All right, because a lot of these people, of course, these government workers, they still have bills. All right, ain't no telling how long this government shutdown is going to be. All right, here they are. They put their trust in their jobs. Okay, they give them the hours that they need to be able to work to provide for themselves or for their families, and here they are, now being told that not only are they not going to be working for God knows how much longer, but also that they're not going to get back pay. Okay, so once again, for me, this is a symbolic of trusting in this spiritual Egypt, man. Okay, trusting in your oppression, all right, so to speak. Okay, which this society will always let you down. This is the reason why it's always advisable to trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, because if He wants you to eat, He wants you to have money to pay your bills, clothes on your back. You're going to have these things, but Egypt will fail you. Okay, so that's pretty much the topic I'm going to dive into. With that being said, let's get right into it. Yahweh righteous, I mean the Heavenly Father's will. It's edifying to the elect. All right, this is Isaiah 36:6. It says, "Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt." All right, and this Egypt that's spoken of is spiritual Sodom and Egypt, the one spoken of in Revelation, the 11th chapter, and also the one where the Israelites are prophesied to be freed out of in Isaiah, the 19th chapter. Okay, it says, "Whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him." So, all right, if you trust in this spiritual Egypt, okay, it's like resting your hand, on a nail, okay, or a broken piece of wood, which would pierce you, would cut you. All right, so it'll be to your shame to trust in this spiritual Egypt, okay. But a lot of our people, all right, that's their mindset. They're looking for Babylon the Great to continue on. All right, they're thinking that this place will bounce back and be stable, and they could build good lives and all that here. Okay, the scriptures say that this is not our rest. This is Lamentations 4:17. It says, "As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching we have watched for a nation that could not save us." Okay, this spiritual Egypt, trusting in Pharaoh, it cannot save you. All right, the only one that can save you is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, but a lot of these people, especially in these high-paying jobs, you start to get comfortable in that, man. Okay, this is Psalm 62:10. It says, "Trust not in oppression." Okay, and you say, "Well, I'm not oppressed. I make 6 figures in a government job." Well, okay, if you don't work that job, you are pretty much still a slave for the system. You're just a high-paid slave. Okay, if you don't work that job, you don't have true freedom to go where you want to go, do what you want to do. All right, realistically, if you had a choice of freedom to get up in the morning and do what you wanted to do every day, you would not be going and working that job, even if it is high paying. Okay, so you're still a slave, you're still a servant. "Trust not in oppression, become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them." All right, and these people get boosted up because they get these high paying jobs, and they think that that's their bread and butter. Okay, no, your bread and butter is going to be in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. All right, he's the one that controls what happens to you. Okay, it don't matter. That's another thing too. See, this also shows you, okay, that they have they have power, all right, over whether you get paid or not. Okay, your sustenance. See, when your trust is in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, no man can take your sustenance away from you. And that's going to be a very, very big deal, okay, when this MOTB comes, man. Okay, because all those who are not, in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you haven't built up that rapport, okay, he can take away your sustenance, man. See, he can't do that for the elect. He can try to excommunicate the elect out of society. He can, try to force that RFID microchip on you, okay, and, if the Heavenly Father wants you to eat, you're going to eat. It don't matter what the wicked say, all right, and that's the reason why, once again, you're going to need that, because, this system is crumbling, man. All right, this is just another step closer to that. All right, let's go next to let's go ahead and go to Isaiah the 30th chapter. All right, and you see here it's entitled, okay, Judah warned against an Egyptian alliance. All right, I'm gonna start at the top of verse 1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." And that's why people, they love this spiritual Egypt. They love their captivity, because this place allows you to be a demon. Okay, the Bible tells you that you should live a certain way, but the laws of the land tell you that you can do whatever you want. So the people, they love it. All right, and because of that, they cling unto Babylon the Great. They cling unto this spiritual Egypt. All right, it says, "That walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked of my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt." Okay, yeah, brother, I make 6 figures. I'm gonna be just fine. All right, well, what are you gonna do when society collapses? They get rid of cash. All right, the only way that you're gonna be able to eat or even access your quote-unquote 6 figures is by taking that RFID microchip. What are you gonna do then? Because you put your trust in Pharaoh, all right, instead of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Verse 3, I'm telling you what's going to happen. It says, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. For his princes whereat Zoan and his ambassadors came to Hanes. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be in help, nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach. Okay, so when that time comes, all right, the plagues start coming upon this Egypt. Okay, just like in ancient Egypt, he was not able to deliver. The Pharaoh was not able to deliver his people from those plagues that the Heavenly Father brought upon ancient Egypt at that time. Okay, and 2 Ezra 15 tells you he's going to do these things again. He's going to set his hand again the second time against Egypt. Okay, and he's going to bring the plagues of the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And Pharaoh is not going to be able to protect you. So he's going to be no profit to you, but a shame and also a reproach. Okay, this is what happens when you trust in Pharaoh, and this is a perfect symbolic example of that. All right, these people trusted in their, in their jobs or whatever. I'm not saying, I don't know these people individually, but I'm just using hypothetical examples because for the most part, most of these people probably ain't serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. It's safe to say that. All right. So they trusting in, their careers, the life that they've built for themselves in Babylon the Great, which really the Heavenly Father gave you those blessings. All right. And because of that, you think you don't need the Heavenly Father. Okay. Well, Pharaoh is going to be your shame. All right. He's not going to be able to protect you from the plagues. Okay. Matter of fact, let's continue on with this chapter. I'm going to skip down to verse 8. All right. It says, now go, and matter of fact, it's like here. I'll pick up 7. For the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still. Okay, strength is to be still in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. It says, now go and write it before them in a table and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord. Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, but speak unto us smooth things, and prophesy deceits. Get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, and cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word, and trust in oppression, and perverseness, and stay thereon. That's what they're doing. Yeah, these people, when they see the prophets, all right, they say, we don't want to hear that. Stop telling us about that Holy One of Israel. Stop telling us about our captivity, spiritual Egypt being destroyed. We don't want to hear that. So the Heavenly Father says, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach, ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. And he shall break it as in the breaking of a potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. Okay, so like a pot is going to be destroyed. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it a sherd to take the fire from the hearth, or to take water with all out of the pit. So he's going to break our people in a bunch of tiny little itty bitty pieces. All right. For thus saith Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in returning and in rest shall ye be saved, and quietness and confidence shall be your strength, and ye would not. Confidence being faith, and quietness just resting in the Most High. Okay, doing His work. All right, which is teaching His word and keeping His commandments. All right, regardless of what it looks like, because people in the world now, brother, hey, what is that book gonna do for me? I got to chase me a bag. Okay, that's their mindset. All right, well, okay, hey, go ahead and put your trust in that bag. See what happened. Isaiah 31. We're gonna close it out with this. Okay. Look, it's entitled, Help Not in Egypt, but in the Most High. All right. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. Yet he also is wise, and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will rise against the house of the evildoers, and against the help of them that work iniquity. Okay, so he's gonna, and that's the evildoers is talking about the leaders of this spiritual Egypt. Okay, that's Esau, Edom. All right, and all those that are joined unto them. Okay, that fight against this truth. All right, and they're to try to help them. It says, now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping, all right, shall fall down, and they shall all fail together. Okay, they're all going to die together. It says, "Well, thus saith Yahweh, spoken unto me, like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey, when a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall Yahweh power of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof." So he's going to come to fight for his people against, all right, against, you know, against the lions. Okay, it says, "As birds flying, so will Yahweh power of hosts defend Jerusalem." Those lions represent the wicked. Okay, as birds flying, so will Yahweh power of hosts defend Jerusalem. Salakia. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over it, he will preserve it. So he's going to come down, all right, with his chariots. All right, he's going to come down, you know, with his chariots to bring deliverance to the elect. All right, as birds flying with them, you know, so-called ships and so-called spaceships. All right, the UFOs, whatever you want to call them. All right, but they're the clouds or the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, and in that verse 4, I believe I had that out backwards actually. Okay. In the parable, you know, and brother could correct me on that. I got to go back over it again to make sure. But I think I had that backwards. Yeah, the lion actually, I believe, is talking about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, rising up against, you know, the wicked. But anyways, continuing on, verse 6, it says, here's the point: "Turn ye unto him from whom the children of Israel have deeply revolted." That's what we got to do. "For in that day every man shall cast away his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which your own hands have made unto you for a sin, throwing away all the gods of Egypt." Okay, white Jesus, Allah, Buddha, the Hindu goddess Shiva. "Then shall the Assyrian fall with the sword, not of a mighty man, and the sword, not of a mean man, shall devour him. But he shall flee from the sword, and his young men shall be discomfited." All right, and the reason why it's mentioned in the Assyrian is because, as I always say, okay, Egypt and Assyria are spiritual code words for the oppressors. All right, it says, "And he shall pass over to his stronghold for fear, and his princes shall be afraid of the ensign, saith Yahweh, whose fire is in Zion, and his furnace is in Jerusalem." So, okay, he's going to rise up against this spiritual Egypt and take it down. Anybody who's joined unto it will be destroyed right along with it. Okay, so once again, okay, trusting in, not in Egypt, but in the Most High. I'm going to go ahead and end it off there. Heavenly Father's will was edifying. As always, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachwadash. And until next time, Shalom, and abide b'ball.